Hi guys, this is Joe D with the Ryan House Report. Let me date this because everything could happen in like 2 hours. Something new could happen. April 18th, Thursday, 2:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, the reason I'm making this video is because I have a sneaking suspicion as I see more and more of my sources saying Iran did a crappy job. They fired over 300 ballistic cruise and drones into Israel, and like 99% of them were intercepted. Again, the majority of that was from the U.S., the U.K., Jordan, and Saudi Arabia, as well as the United Arab Emirates, in terms of tracking flight tracks of these missiles and these cruise missiles. And Jordan actually helped shoot a bunch down. The United States shot at about 1/3. We killed about 1/3 of those missiles. The UK, I don't know how, maybe 50, I don't know. And so everyone's like, Iran sucks. They couldn't even get anything through. They got a couple through, but it didn't. There's one Bedouin girl that I pray she's in heaven or on her way to heaven. But, oh, no more lighter, whatever. Okay, fine. So I have a sneaking suspicion, and this is a tactic of warfare that's been used for centuries and centuries and centuries. Pretend that you're weak. Iran launched 300 plus projectiles into Israel. They were all destroyed. Those drones were traveling 125 miles an hour. The drones. They literally watched for 2 hours until they came into airspace. I have a very sneaking, nothing got through. The ballistic missiles were shot down. The cruise missiles were shot down. The drones were shot down. It was meant to be a spectacular, like, look what Iran's capable of. Iran is in the game. They're going to help you. Hezbollah, Hamas, everyone's been like, dude, help us. All right, so Iran stepped up and they did this historically unprecedented strike against Israel. And I have a really, really disturbing feeling that Iran intentionally sent like their lowest caliber projectiles so as to be easily intercepted, so as to not really make any difference at all other than just a massive show of force. That's a good photo op or a good video op. You see all these different things. You got the sirens going off. I have a feeling that Iran's using the strategy of underestimation. All right, we have attacked you with 300 plus projectiles. All of them failed except for 2. And that's supposed to represent Iran's military might? No, I have a very sneaking suspicion that's disturbing that they intentionally sent lower cost, drones, ballistic missiles, and cruise missiles that they knew would have been intercepted. It's just a show. It's just a spectacular. It's a great video op on the news. But I have a great feeling that they didn't send their best stuff. I think that they sent what they needed to send in order to send a message of just like, look at your skies, there's all these bombs going off, and the Iron Dome intercepting them and everything. I have a feeling that Iran specifically chose to hold back their best weapons, and that the entire world right now is looking at Iran and they're saying, well, you guys fucked up. You guys suck. Your military shit. I've heard reports that many of the cruise missiles and rockets and drones, as soon as they launched them, they failed immediately. Half of them they just landed in deserts halfway between Iran and Israel. They did not put their total force into this attack. And I believe the reason they didn't do that, I think they wanted to look weak in terms of their capabilities. so as to make other countries, namely Israel, underestimate them. Oh, look what they did. They just fired 500 rockets. What's up? We shut down 99% of them with our allies. People are saying Iran's military capability is subpar, to say the least. But again, I really feel that they intentionally made it subpar so as to lull Israel, the Middle Eastern Gulf states, Turkey, Europe, and the United States into thinking this is the best they have to send. And they really suck because nothing got through. No. Iran, together with China, and North Korea arguably, has the most robust ballistic missile, intercontinental ballistic missile programs in the world. I find it hard to believe that they sent a bunch of shit over to Israel to prove a point, but I think they did it in a tactical sense, like Sun Tzu, Art of War, mislead your enemies. We sent 300 plus rockets, you guys shot them all down? Oh, we suck, says Iran, right? They don't say that, but they're like, the whole world's looking at Iran. It's like, why did that attack fail so badly? And what are they truly capable of? I think the attack failed intentionally by Iran. They knew what they were sending. They knew it would be shot down. In some instances, they even called Switzerland and gave them direct info regarding what they were going to hit, when they were going to hit it, and the flight patterns. Iran intentionally misled Israel and the broader worldwide community into believing that they suck. Is that the best they can do? No. The best they can do is to saturate Israel with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of short-range, medium-range ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, drones that are actually capable of going more than 125 miles an hour. I think they're sending. This is very sly on their behalf, but they're saying, this is what we had. This is our response, and everyone's like, oh, well, that was shitty. But I believe it was true. The Iranians intentionally did a shitty job, so as to mislead everyone to thinking like they're a piece of shit. They don't have any real military capabilities. They can't really hit us, Israel, because they tried and we shot everything down. But the altogether effect, they're trying to trick. I believe it's disturbing, but Iran's trying to trick Israel and the world into believing that's what they're capable of. And they're capable of much, much more. Like I said earlier, they have China, North Korea, Iran. They have one of the most robust missile system programs in the world. I find it hard to believe that things failed. I think that they intentionally sent things that would fail so as to not provoke escalation, which is bullshit. Everyone's saying, show restraint, Israel, show restraint. It's like, wait, why? And they're like, Israel, show restraint to us so as to prevent a broader regional war. Huh. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Iran, the nation state of Iran, fired 300 plus projectiles into Israel. And then everyone tells Israel, don't respond. Because if you respond, there might be a wider conflagration of the Middle Eastern wars. Iran is able to do whatever they want to do. They attacked, historically, unprecedented. They attacked Israel from Iranian soil into Israeli soil. And the whole world is saying, Israel, don't widen the war in the Middle East. Well, I have news for you fucking idiots. Excuse my language. It's just very obvious, and I don't get why nobody sees this. Israel's response to Iran is going to be such that it'll be relatively constrained. Although there has been one spokesman from the IDF that said that Iran is within 2 weeks of getting a bomb, which goes against the 3 to 6 month estimates of other security analysts. But that is kind of a prelude or a foreshadowing that they very well may hit the nuclear facilities within Iran. Not just IRGC training camps, not just the launchers from which they sent these things, but a more broader, like for instance, there's an Iranian spy vessel. Literally, it's a spy vessel inside the Red Sea, and they've been the ones that have helped the Houthis in Yemen to orchestrate attacks into the Strait of Hormuz and knocking out these different merchant vessels. Iran, let me think. I kind of respect what Iran's doing because they're playing the old games of war. Trick your enemy. Sun Tzu, trick your enemy into being lulled by your supposedly ineffective military. If Iran really wanted to go at it, they would have sent thousands of medium, short cruise missiles and drones, and they would have made an impact. But they chose not to, so as to create de-escalation. It's just total bullshit. So Iran is allowed to attack Israel. Everyone's saying don't do it to everyone, especially Israel. Don't do anything to make this worse. Don't do anything that's going to expand this. Iran expands it on its own by dispatching drones, missiles from its territory into Israeli territory, and they're allowed to do that. And then the rest of the world says, Israel, you better show constraint. Mexico fires 300 rockets, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles into Arizona and Texas, New Mexico. And the rest of the world, the UN says, the United States, show restraint. Show restraint. Bullshit. We would flatten freaking Mexico. We would take care of business. But again, I will quote Douglas Murray, who's a leading mind behind all of this BS. Israel is the only country in the world not allowed to win a war. And that's literally true. Think about it. Israel is the only country in the world not allowed to win a war. So I hope the Israeli response to the Iranians opened up the floodgates for a regional war. Everyone's saying, Israel, stop, don't respond, because that could open up a regional war. I'm sorry. Iran opened up a regional war with their attacks this past Saturday. They opened up the regional war. Israel would simply be responding, and if they don't respond, they will lose all deterrence. If they do not respond substantially, they will lose all deterrence power. But my main focus is that I believe Iran intentionally sent their crappiest missiles as just a show of force. They left the headlights on their drones. I mean, it was a photo op. It was a video op. And I believe that Israel is going to and needs to overwhelm whatever Iran just did. And hopefully that'll take place soon. For talks about after Passover, I'm not sure, but Iran needs to be held to account, and no one can blame Israel because Iran is the one that opened up the wider regional conflict. Iran did that, not Israel. So that needs all to be taken into consideration. And again, I believe that had Iran really meant it, they would have saturated Israel with missiles, drones, and many of them would have gotten through. And so I just think they're betting that people will underestimate Iran and its capabilities. And in the future, when Iran needs to use those capabilities, it'll be overwhelming because no one will be like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. The last time they attacked Israel, they barely did shit. Now all of a sudden they're freaking cruise missiles hitting into Tel Aviv and stuff. So it's just a matter of time as to how this is going to all end up. But the bottom line is Israel needs to respond. Otherwise, they're going to lose all deterrence. And of all times, they need deterrence right now. That they need to be frightening to their enemy. And so, with that said, to Joe D. Roundhouse with the Roundhouse Report. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. All right, guys.